So Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler are coaching the next season of The Ultimate Fighter, and I could not be happier. I think this is going to be an awesome season. I'm a big Ultimate Fighter fan, and this is going to bring it back to the mainstream with coaches people actually care about. Conor needs also a chance, I think, to get on the good side of fans again. All you hear is a lot of negative Conor McGregor news, and definitely newer fans kind of think he's this crazy cokehead, but in actuality, he's an excellent martial artist and a great fighting mind, and I feel like coaching, he's going to be a great inspiration for these guys. If you're on that next season of The Ultimate Fighter, you are getting blessed. And then on the opposite side, Michael Chandler is a tremendous person. I think he's going to be a great coach too. He's probably going to have some cringy motivation moments on the show, but it'll be good. It'll be a nice effect. It'll be a nice flair. It'll be a nice flow. Because they're a clash of personalities, very different, but I'm not expecting like a ton of angry moments for them. There might be a few times that things get a little bit heated, but I really don't see it as like a continual shit-talking season. I'm not worried that we get, a fight on the show between them two. It's not like a Vanderlei Silva, Chael Sonnen. And I do think that's a big reason they went with Michael Chandler, is because he's going to hold it together. If they went Conor McGregor, Tony Ferguson, I think there's a bit more of a chance that shit would get out of hand. If you went Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, I think shit would definitely get out of hand. Or Masvidal, shit would go crazy. There'd be a fight for sure. Michael Chandler and him will be level-headed throughout the majority of the thing, and I think they're going to deliver a great experience for the fighters that are getting a shot on this season. And I really hope they don't fuck that up. I hope they choose the right weight classes. If it's up to me, if it's one weight class, I'm picking featherweights. I'd like to see that weight class. That's where Conor started. I think he's going to be able to relate to them in that way. Obviously, Michael Chandler, lightweight for a very long time at the top of Bellator, and now, at the UFC, ranked in that top 5. I feel like featherweights are great to bring in, and there's a lot of talent in that weight class around the world. If they're doing 2 weight classes, I think you go featherweight and welterweight. That's just my preference. Please, UFC, do not give me heavyweights. Don't give me light heavyweights. Don't give me a women's weight class. I want to focus on marquee talent from outside of the UFC in the featherweight division first, and then I'd say secondly, we'll go with welterweight. I feel like that would do big numbers, and I think the fights would be amazing. I really feel like those weight classes kind of bring the best fights. Lightweight, obviously, too. Bantamweight, too. But I'm curious about these featherweights and welterweights throwing down, and I want to see who we got as, the new up-and-coming talent. I really hope they take time to bring in really, really good fighters and maybe incentivize it a bit more. Not just this bullshit 6-figure contract that they gave out in 2005. Let's give the fighters who win $100,000. Now, that might be a little far-fetched. This is my personal idea. I just think that it would, bring more marquee talent to the show if they knew there'd be a massive financial compensation at the end. But yeah, I'm hoping for big things with this season. I think we're going to get great moments. The coaches are going to be strong rivals and competitors against one another, and I really think views are going to be tremendous. And Conor McGregor, anything he does gets watched. This is going to be a well-watched season. Now, when you think about, as we pass the season and the fight comes up, this is actually a good matchup for Conor McGregor. Michael Chandler, he's a guy that fights with reckless abandon. He's pretty fucking hittable, and he's been knocked out in the past. You look at Conor McGregor's precision with his punches. I could clearly see opportunities as Chandler is closing that gap. Conor can catch him and put him unconscious. Obviously, there's a big advantage as far as the wrestling skill set goes. Michael Chandler has it, but he is known to throw caution to the wind and let it all go. He fights almost like a fucking street fighter. He'll give you 100% from the start. That plays into Conor's game. A guy who's not super calculated and patient and just looking to blitz Conor McGregor is someone who I think is very vulnerable to Conor McGregor's excellent precision punches. The long southpaw stance. If Conor McGregor, I believe he is completely healed from this leg injury, we could see a rejuvenated Conor McGregor, a better Conor McGregor. He looks to be in great shape. His physique has been looking incredible in all the pictures you see online. People saying, oh, he's on steroids, this and that. I don't know about that. That's just smoke and mirrors. I mean, maybe, but I don't think so. And we know when he's in the UFC, he's going to be under that USADA testing pool. He's not going to be getting away with shit. Him and Michael Chandler, though, is a great fight. When I look at it and I think about the matchup, I have to pick Conor McGregor. Michael Chandler throws caution to the wind, comes to bang. This is a very winnable fight for Conor, if he still has some shit left in the tank. Now, if you look at, Conor McGregor's recent performances, he looked tremendous against Cowboy Cerrone, putting him out of there in less than a minute. You look at the Dustin Poirier rematch. He didn't look great, but he also didn't look awful. He had good shots that he landed on Poirier. And, obviously he struggled more so in the grappling. He ends up on his back getting beaten up, and then he's knocked out by Poirier in that rematch. And then the trilogy fight with him and Dustin Poirier, it was inconclusive. He snapped his leg in that fight. It was unfortunate. That's just how the fucking game goes. I mean, in their first fight too, let's be honest, his leg got absolutely torn apart by Dustin Poirier. And then in the second fight, or rather the third fight, he looks to be ripping leg kicks of his own and attacking. With Michael Chandler, you don't have to worry about those low kicks. You don't have a guy who has the similar technical skill sets in boxing as your own. What you have with Michael Chandler is an explosive athlete with real knockout power. Vulnerabilities, certainly. His fight IQ is very questionable. He is very hittable. And I do think Conor McGregor takes advantage of this type of fighter. Eddie Alvarez is a beast, right? Conor McGregor in his prime destroyed him. You look at Chad Mendes early in the run, a guy with good wrestling. Conor was able to knock him out too. I could see Chandler looking for takedowns. If he's fighting with the smartest of game plans, Coach Chandler is going to go out with the intention to wrestle Conor McGregor and ground and pound him. That's not what Chandler does. He's going to let everything fly from the moment the fight starts until it ends. I'm going to predict Conor McGregor pulls this thing out. I think he can win this fight. And I feel like this is the matchup that Conor McGregor has been needing. I was hoping that they picked Michael Chandler because he's still a relevant name that if Conor McGregor beats, he's right back in the limelight. If you would have gave him a Tony Ferguson, imagine he somehow fumbles the bag on that fight. It's like career over. So I had a feeling they'd skip past the T-Ferg fight. Michael Chandler is the right choice. And coaching against one another is a great idea. I think it's going to be a really fun season. Like I said, I hope they don't fuck it up and choose the wrong weight classes and boring fighters. Like, come on, let's make it a great season. Let's be smart about this. And come on, incentivize these fighters a little bit more. I made a whole video talking about how to save the Ultimate Fighter. Piece 1 is coaches people actually care about. We got it. Piece 2 would be if they can maybe give the fighters a little bit more money so we drive the higher level talent to the show. Even maybe guys fighting in major overseas promotions, they're like, fuck, I'm out of my contract. I get a chance to go on The Ultimate Fighter. They try out. I want big names. I maybe even want to see the old school way where we get all these fighters showing up and they have to fight to get in the house. I feel like that makes it more ruthless. I want one of those gladiator Ultimate Fighter seasons, not, oh, we just, we're going to pick this talent and just bring them in. Like, I want you to have to go to war to get on this season to be coached by, I think, tremendous coaches. Conor McGregor is a great mind in fighting. Michael Chandler, as much as we can question his fight IQ, he's a great fighter and he's an incredibly fucking great talent in mixed martial arts. And I feel like this is the season to be excited about. This is the season that we needed. I'm so happy that Conor McGregor is going to be back. The sport's going to be, I think, growing at like a more substantial rate with Conor back in it. Like when he's around, business is booming. We don't have a star like Conor McGregor, right? I guess a big name would be Adesanya. He's, a big star right now. I know he lost the belt, but he's still a big star. But he doesn't have the McGregor flow. There's nothing like it. And Michael Chandler called out Conor early in his UFC run. As soon as he came in, he wanted to fight Conor McGregor. That was where he was aiming. He gets the biggest payday of a lifetime, the fucking red panty night. This is a pay-per-view main event. There doesn't need to be a belt on the line for this thing to sell. It's going to be 5 rounds of warfare. And I really feel like it's one where Conor McGregor comes out on top, and it saves the UFC in a sense, because now you got Conor McGregor at the pinnacle again. You can do a lot of things with him. Do they look to put Conor McGregor in a fight for a title? Do they look to match up Conor McGregor with someone else they're trying to build? Hopefully they don't throw him to Khamzat Chimaev. But we know Khamzat's probably going up to 85. But if he did stick around at 170, don't give me that fight. But the horizon is wide for Conor McGregor after this one. If he can get past Michael Chandler, it's Conor McGregor back at the top again. I don't know about a Dustin Poirier quadrilogy. There's obviously a Gaethje fight, Fiziev on the come up. I'm thinking he's more going to be fighting lightweights in the welterweight division. I don't think he'd cut to 155 pounds unless it was a title on the line. Charles Oliveira is a name that I wouldn't hate to see Conor McGregor face off against, even at 170. We'll see, though. Obviously, he's got a huge fucking hurdle to get over in Michael Chandler. And their actual fight is probably not going to happen until like September, October time, because the Ultimate Fighter season is premiering May 30th, and then it will wrap up at the end of August. So finale, and then I don't know, maybe they want to time it perfectly and have Conor McGregor fight immediately following the season, like 2 weeks after. We shall see. I don't know the UFC's exact intentions with that, but I do think that Conor McGregor, even being whispered and talked about as he's back, he's coaching the Ultimate Fighter, the sport grows from that. The sport gets more eyes on it. I feel like when you have a Conor McGregor fight card, you build stars under him. With this Conor McGregor card, I think you got to put like a Sean O'Malley on the undercard. Imagine you get a Hamzat Chimaev on the undercard. Guys that you're trying to bring great eyes to and everybody to watch, that would be the card to do it. Because Conor's going to get the most pay-per-view buys. He breaks 1 million, certainly. He does it every single time. He's going to do it again. Him and Michael Chandler might be one of the better fights in, entertainment value-wise of Conor McGregor's whole career. Somebody's going unconscious, and I think it's going to be Michael Chandler. I really feel like the way he fights is just too susceptible to damage that Conor McGregor is going to find home to his perfect punches, probably a straight left. Chandler comes in a little reckless, and he gets caught and knocked out. It's not like Michael Chandler hasn't gotten dropped in a fuckload of fights. I mean, you look, even Tony Ferguson touched him with a shot and put him down. When Conor McGregor hits you, you go out. Conor's the pick. He'd be the bet. I'll throw money down on Conor McGregor when the time comes. As far as who wins the season, for the fuck of it, I'm going to ride with Team Conor McGregor gets the finale win, and they win more fights in the house. Very curious how it's going to go. It's not like they unloaded us with a fuckload of details. I'm just guessing on how everything's going to be. But yeah, I'll reiterate it. Featherweight, welterweight is my pick for the weight classes. I think that will be big matchups because there's so many good fighters in those weight classes around the world. I think capitalize on it. Bring more talent in, especially featherweight. I don't know. I feel like they need some more guys. Obviously, welterweight is pretty fucking stacked, but most UFC weight classes are stacked. The reason I'm not saying bring in guys at light heavyweight, which is just by nature a weaker weight class, is because I don't want a subpar season. And the smaller fighters, guys at welterweight and below, I think would benefit more so from a Conor McGregor or a Michael Chandler as coaches. If you look at the heavier weight classes, a different style of fighting, different little effects. Not saying that they wouldn't be able to learn things from the greats like a Conor McGregor or a really good fighter like a Michael Chandler, but they would get more out of it if they were lighter guys. So give me featherweights, welterweights, or just featherweights. I want them to have to battle it out gladiator style to get in the house. Enough of this shit where you just come through, oh, we're picking these 8 guys and these 8 girls. No. I want the fucking OG seasons. I want the seasons that I grew up on. Obviously, I know the early seasons, they would just do the tryouts and bring them in. But there's something special about that elimination round where you go for it. You know that you have to fight to break into this house. There's no easy way in. You might be the guy they're all watching and everybody thinks you're going to make it to the top, but you have to fight some hungry foe to get in that house. That's how I want it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler. I'm super hype. Much love. Thank you all for watching. Smash the likes. If you're new, subscribe. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments. Give me your early prediction for this fight. I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.